Good afternoon. Welcome to the TheoTrade afternoon video. I am Blake Young. Today is May 14th, 2026, and we're going to talk about the standard business cycle, sector rotation, and what happened with gold today. And to look at this, you can see one a little bit fuzzy here, but I believe I built this graphic maybe 20 years ago that's been repurposed and repurposed. You can find it all over online, but it's the same concept most people have in that we can kind of track what's happening in the broad economic view as far as commodity prices, inflation prices, etc., while also tracking the sectors and where we're in a normal 4-year business cycle. Now, those business cycles have been broken out of the 4 years so many times. We had one of the largest bull runs in history, and now the question is, what are we at now? As we look at this, we start taking the components and we ask the question, where are we at in inflation? Where are we at in the sector rotation? Which are the strongest sectors? Which are the weakest sectors? And if we walk all the way through and focus here, we know inflation is rising, PPI is hot. So do we assume that we're in late expansion? Well, probably not, because we know technology prices and stock prices are going higher. So maybe we're in this area. Well, that would be okay, but theoretically, if we're here and here, we'd expect basic materials to be going up and bond prices falling. The problem is basic materials are going down and bond prices are, yeah, they might be falling as well. Financials is a big question mark. Are we in a recession? And so the business cycle really is a big question mark for us as we look at all the moves. And if we see gold prices falling because we're going to get a new Fed chair and we're more likely that we're going to raise rates than cut rates, does that mean that we're going to be fighting inflation and we're going to see inflation falling? Are we in this late contraction phase? Well, certainly not when we talk about stock prices. So economics versus the stocks and the normal sector rotations that are going on right now don't seem to be lining up. If we look at the prices in the charts, we'll see a little bit more detail as we break this down. So we'll start with basic materials that isn't really going up. It's not going down that much. It's just kind of flat here in the middle. And if we're seeing the pressure build to the downside, we see that the accumulation of the Chaikin is selling off and putting pressure to the downside. That isn't a lot of hopeful moves in basic materials, at least based off of what we're seeing in the chart at this moment. Now, that just makes me question whether we could call any mid or late stage growth right now. I'd say no, not from what we're seeing in basic materials. If we're to look at technology, and we know that technology is usually early on when stock prices are rising, well, technology, XLK, record highs again today. So record highs again, highly extended. This still feels like rotation out of some of the other sectors into tech, but it's hard to argue that tech is climbing on average or decent volume. So money has to be coming from somewhere. If we take a look at bonds, let's take a look at IEF. That's kind of the middle 7 to 10. You can see that's down. So we start putting the pieces together and say, well, yeah, then bonds are falling, and that means that we should be late expansion. But tech's still climbing. That's early expansion. Inflation's rising. Okay, that's still late expansion. So there's more and more signs that we are heading towards this late expansion level where commodity prices are rising, inflation is rising, bond prices are falling, and that late expansion is right before we get into defensive sectors and early contraction. We're watching for stock prices to fall, and we are seeing stock prices fall, just not all the sectors. And we're going to be confirming that when we see commodity prices fall. Energy prices and crude are going to have a hard time falling until we have this resolved with Iran. So again, there's big question marks about when that's going to actually happen if we're assuming that we're going to get back to a normal business cycle in the midst of other catalysts that are holding commodity prices higher. And oil prices will hold commodity prices higher and inflation higher because oil is used to transport all the goods that we buy and use to make so many goods. So a lot of questions in whether that's where we're at. And I would say that we are absolutely in a late stage expansion and looking for the rollover. Bonds are certainly showing it. Commodities are showing it. Inflation is showing it. PPI is showing it. It's just that tech is still climbing and we haven't really seen the peak yet. I do want to remind you as we talk about the economy, one of the things we keep saying, we've been saying a lot this week, is the market is not the economy. So equities can still climb 6 months, a year and a half after we head into recessionary biases, and it can still be rotating into these big juggernauts of technology. But if that tips over, we want to be looking for those defensive sectors early on. We want to be looking at consumer staples, utilities, and even the healthcare with those pullbacks. And also considering taking bearish positions in bonds, and if we're raising rates to fight inflation, then we should also be looking for positions against gold. Now that might sound a little bit off center and you might not be interested in doing that, but I do want you to see what we saw in the charts today. Gold is breaking down. Gold has given us a bearish breakout and the lowest close in a week, and breaking out here with a target of 4,600 and 4,609 and probably down to 4,500. So I'm looking for about a 150 point drop in gold over the next maybe 3 days to a week. And a 3% drop is pretty tasty for those that are taking a swing trade on that. The question is whether this will impact metals and miners, and as you can see, it certainly is. We've closed down, pulled back, closed down. We actually had a warning here, and we're already at the first target of 120. Second target is 115. That's another 5 points lower in metals and mining. But if gold continues to sell off, then I think metals and mining will have a harder time justifying their earnings and justifying their ongoing margins if those margins are going to get squoze in the next week to month. Now, that's not the best play. I don't think it's the best play. I think the ones that are still going on and are still supporting what we would expect outside of technology are going to be in those that are higher dividend stocks. As an example, we know that SU is going to benefit from the energy and also going to benefit from the dividend stocks. If oil prices stay where they're at and go higher, energy stocks are going to do well here. Suncor is up today, closing higher by about 1%. If you look at the dividend that Suncor offers, it offers about a 2.6% yield. And if it can climb up to that next target, I'm looking for about a 5 to 6% climb over the next month and a half. You can actually go in here and sell the 65, which is $1.79 away, for 2.7%, which means you have a 2.7% return on risk for 30 days, roughly. And you have a margin of safety of double that, which means that it would have to fall 5.4% before you lose anything. And that's great. You can get that 2.7%. But if you want to own it, you have to own it before June 4th so you can collect that dividend. I still like it as a dividend stock where you could buy it and then sell premium against. Now, I've had a lot of success with Procter & Gamble and Philip Morris recently, but Colgate is giving us the breakout today. Colgate broke through the monkey bars, is pushing higher. It's the highest close that Colgate has had going all the way back to March 17th. Colgate also offers a dividend. If you go into the dividends, it's 2.39%. And we don't get the strong return on risk for selling an out-of-the-money put here. The next dividend is likely out into July. So I don't see a lot of justification to sell puts to get into this. It'd be more just buy the stock and sell out-of-the-money calls. Buy the stock, sell out-of-the-money calls until you get paid your dividend. And if this keeps on climbing, I do think it could easily reach 90.86 this month, back to this short-term high, and likely even up to about 94.50 before even the end of this month in early June. Now, not a huge percentage, but it's a stock that you can collect the dividend on and collect the covered calls on, because I don't expect it to rip higher and overshoot those calls. I was going to talk about Johnson & Johnson breaking out of its Bollinger Band, and I do think there's an opportunity to own this. You created a bullish cluster here. You broke out of the Bollinger Band. You gave a monkey bar signal here. I do think you're going to slow down likely through here because we see the squeeze going on in the Bollinger Band and the upside target about 234. I still like the stock, and I think the dividend is good, but let's take a look at one more energy stock and look at EPD. EPD cleared this high. We created kind of a double bottom in the tiny pullback. I don't know if you even call it a double bottom, but I expected to break through this and go higher, which I'm planning about an 8 to 10% move higher. But this dividend is super rich. So even if you're thinking, yeah, 8% is good, I think we could go 8% higher in the next 2 months. If you look at the dividend on an annualized basis, it pays out quarterly. The next one's July, and it pays a dividend equivalent to 5.6% yield at where it's at. So could we get another 2.5 to 3% over the next 6 months and the 10% directional move? I think this sets up for a nice directional move on a breakout that's going to give you a net income or net return of about we'll call it 13% over the next 6 months in something that will benefit from energy prices staying high. If energy prices start to drop, then you can protect it and walk away. And that's not even counting for the fact that you can sell covered calls against this one as well. I do think the money's still in energy, dividend stocks, and looking more and more for those defensive sectors while we see the market reach that peak where it starts to roll over in the business cycle. Well, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the morning, and otherwise we'll see you next week.